I'm Bill Price. My law firm is growthlaw.com from Warrenville, Illinois, and I'm going to talk about what you need to do when you're advising a client on either buying or selling a business. When you are advising a business client on either buying another business or selling their own, you're dealing with a very sensitive situation. As a lawyer, it's not your job to be terribly sensitive. Your job is to walk them through and protect them with several very specific documents. First, you are putting together a non-compete agreement. This tells both sides that whatever they say to each other, they're not going to use it to compete. They also are not going to disclose any of that material to third parties without the other's consent. With that, you have the first stage of what I call the dance of the seven veils, which is the process of getting the information that seller needs to get to buyer and buyer needs to get from seller to be happy with their deal. This usually at the beginning is things like tax returns or other brief things, but that's just document number one. Once you've looked at the tax returns, once you've got an idea as to the business model, this is about as far as documents will take you, and you do another document. The document at that point is called a letter of intent or a term sheet. This is basically the first negotiated set of what a buyer wants to offer and what a seller will take for the business. It's not a binding contract except in a couple of key points. One, you have to have the business off the market for 2 or 3 months so the seller can complete their due diligence. And two, you want to keep that non-circumvent, non-compete going for information exchanged. At that point, you then go to other people. Why? Because you usually need an accountant, a valuation specialist, you may need a real estate appraiser, you need internal information, you'll be talking to people about the condition of the target's machines, anything else you need to understand that business down at a granular level goes on in the due diligence period after letter of intent. Once you're done with letter of intent, and you as the lawyer determine when that is done. Your client probably is not experienced in buying and selling businesses, so you need to help them through this process. You negotiate with the other side, and the actual sales contract comes along. This is usually signed at closing. Now, at the closing, what do you have? You've got an agreement to either buy the assets or buy the shares or membership interests in the business. Conditioned on that are things like having financing, making sure that all of the list of things you are buying is in the schedules attached to the agreement. Any employee contracts are transferred, any customer contracts are transferred. And then when you are done, you have what is a closing. In other words, a large pile of documents signed and a large check from buyer to seller. That's what you have to work with. You draft the documents, and you need to run the process. I am a member of the Business and Securities Law section of the Illinois State Bar Association. I've chaired that council, and I have founded an education every meeting I've gone to. I recommend you come to some of our seminars. We run at least 4 a year. Read the newsletter, and visit the website of that section. These are all resources available to you as a section member, and it's a privilege to be a member of the section and of the Illinois State Bar Association.